We certainly want to get a look at the roads with Madison because we have so many problem areas for today, Madison.
Yeah, I want to start out on I-30. That's where earlier this morning for about 3 hours, 30 east and westbound was closed in eastern Dallas County right near St. Francis, all because of a major crash involving an 18-wheeler. And you can see that 18-wheeler there. That's on the service road. So you would think an 18-wheeler that crashed on the service road, well, that's not a big deal. Well, this 18-wheeler jackknifed into power poles, which knocked down across the main lanes of I-30, causing live wires to literally be across the main lanes. So they had to get utility crews on scene, work to pick up and cut power to those areas that we're seeing those down power lines, and now they are starting to reopen the main lanes of 30. I want to show you the TxDOT cam because that's going to give you a clear picture of what the traffic situation looks like. Earlier this morning, they were forcing all traffic onto the service road, and you can still see the service road is stacked with traffic. So do not hop on the service road between St. Francis and Buckner Boulevard. But look at the main lanes. The main lanes are now back open after over 3 hours worth of closures. So now if you're traveling east or westbound on 30 between St. Francis and Buckner Boulevard, those main lanes are available for you, but just keep in mind traffic is still heavy through the area. So if you want to avoid 30 still, I don't blame you. Military Parkway or Highway 352 still a good option to get eastbound this morning. Now Dallas County as a whole still seeing about a dozen crashes, and that's because of the very heavy rainfall that we saw in the early morning hours. In fact, that heavy rain caused flooding on 35E at Inwood, where it blocked 2 lanes with about 4 inches worth of water, and that caused a lot of vehicles to result in almost hydroplaning on those main lanes. So they've got TxDOT crews out right now working to unclog the drains that are in that area to hopefully alleviate that flooding. We've also got a major crash Loop 12 northbound at Shady Grove. If you're one of those folks that drives from I-30 up towards 183, I would suggest this morning taking 161 instead because we're seeing very heavy traffic back to I-30 due to that crash scene. Now, looking at the Metroplex as a whole, take a look at this because this really paints the clear picture. If you're traveling in the eastern portion of Dallas County over towards Kaufman County or Rockwall over towards Greenville, those areas are still dealing with some localized flooding, ponding threats on the roadway, which means you could see some areas with 1 to 2 inches of water that could result in hydroplaning. The rest of the Metroplex is starting to dry out, which is why in Fort Worth we only have a couple of crashes that we're keeping an eye on. One of them is 35W up in North Fort Worth, and I want to quickly show you the look at that TxDOT cam. This is 35W up in the far North Fort Worth area. Only 1 lane gets by past Keller Hicks, so that is causing stop traffic back to the 287 Decatur cutoff. So if you're traveling into North Fort Worth, you may want to think about taking 377 this morning instead.
Good information, Madison. Thank you so much. We'll check back in with you in a little bit. And grab your cell phones real quick. Point the camera at that QR code on your screen. That's going to help you download the CBS DFW News app. And when we first issue a First Alert Weather Day, you will be the first to know. You'll also get updates directly on your phone whenever there is the possibility of severe weather.